You're watching Big Ten basketball on ESPN. And from the Xfinity Center in College Park, we say Happy New Year from the state of Maryland. It's the undefeated 16th ranked Michigan Wolverines on the road against the Maryland Terrapins. Well, we are socially distanced, but we are still thrilled to be in the building for some basketball. Alongside Dan Dockich, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Thanks for spending some of the holiday with us here on ESPN. And Dan, stop me if you've heard this before, because I know you've heard this before. We have another epic Big Ten battle on tap tonight. Michigan comes in one of just 4 teams that are still undefeated in the top 25. And on the other side of the ledger, the Maryland Terrapins coming off their best win of the year on the road against Wisconsin.
I thought Maryland was absolutely terrific. In the Kohl Center, they played great defense. They do that again tonight. They're going to be in the top 25. We've got 9 teams in the top 25 out of the Big Ten. Now think about that. Of the 25 top teams, 9 are from this league, and I'm telling you right now, Maryland is as good as any, at least of late.
Got the win on the road at the Kohl Center, as you mentioned. If they win tonight, that's back-to-back wins against top 25 teams. I think that would be good enough to break into the top 25, and this is somewhat uncharted waters for the Big Ten. The last time a team or a league had 9 teams in the top 25 was all the way back in 2011, and the Big East did it then, and they sent 11 teams to the NCAA tournament that year. Michigan in their road blues with the opening tip. Here's Isaiah Livers, number 2. Grad transfer Mike Smith almost turns it over. It's out of bounds, and it is a Michigan turnover.
Telling you, that was a 3-2 zone. Played it very well against Wisconsin, and the key is they guard their own man even in zone. Now, the key also on this end with this starting 5, when Ayala gets going and Scott gets going, they're very good. When they take wild shots, which they do on occasion, they're very bad.
Dan, you saw that starting 5 for Maryland. A big key and a theme this year that we've heard a lot is if you want to win, you got to be old, and they have a veteran bunch.
Well, both teams are very old. Wisconsin in this league, a lot of teams in this league are very old, and that's why the league's so good.
Your officials tonight, Paul Sells, Bo Borowski, Keith Kimball. We have our first foul of the game.
Little inside joke here, not joke, but Pat Dobson was the 4th 20-game winner.
Oh, Pat Dobson.
Yeah. Cuellar, McNally, Palmer.
This is one of the only times I can say this. I guess I'm just a little too young for that trivia question. Yes, we're in the land of Orioles fans here in College Park, Maryland. There's Isaiah Livers, and there's Juwan Howard. 2nd season as the Michigan head coach, and boy, has he built an instant winner with this team, and he has the #1 recruiting class as of now coming in next year. Instant success with him and his staff.
He has been great. You know, sometimes you try to win the press conference with a hire, right? And a lot of people felt that about Juwan Howard coming from the pros into the college game, but I'm here to tell you, this is an incredibly well-coached team. He's recruited well, has players that love him. Juwan Howard is a terrific mentor and a better basketball coach.
Here comes Livers, gives it up to another senior. That's Eli Brooks, 55. Franz Wagner still hasn't found his rhythm this season, despite a 20-point effort last time out.
Well, Wagner gave the ball up to Brooks that time. Brooks created a foul, but had he waited just a second longer, he would have found Dickinson inside. When you get a basketball and you have a really good center, like Hunter Dickinson is, having a terrific freshman year, you hold it for a 2 count, 1,001, 1,002, and let something happen in the post before you give it up.
There's Mark Turgeon in his 10th year at the helm of the Terrapins, and he's just won everywhere he's been. He was the Missouri Valley Coach of the Year with Wichita State, a 2-time Big 12 Coach of the Year with Texas A&M, and of course has had a tremendous amount of success in the last decade with the Terps.
I was walking my dog the other day in my neighborhood. A guy stops me in his car and he says, "I'm a Maryland fan, I want Turgeon gone." So I said, "Okay, who you want in there?"
Yeah, who's going to replace him?
Guy's like, well, I go, well, if you want him gone, you got to replace him with somebody. Mark Turgeon's been terrific, absolutely terrific.
Here's the dribble handoff, Wiggins. Now Dante Scott. He's been arguably the best offensive player in Big Ten play for the Terps. 5 to shoot. Here's Shoal Marial, the big 7'2" sophomore, and it's off the mark. Maryland still hasn't gotten their stride offensively, just about 2 minutes into this game. What impresses you about the Michigan offense, Dan?
Well, right now, nothing, because they're dribbling it too much. But I like the way they brought it back, and Dickinson just went into Marial and scored.
How about that? The left-hander with a nice spin move.
Marial against Wisconsin took Potter and took Reavers out of the game in 4 minutes of the first half. Changed the game. Dickinson said, not today.
And number 5, Eric Ayala breaks the seal for the Terps. First points for Maryland.
Ayala, Scott, and E.J. Liddell, the kid from Ohio State, are the 3 most underappreciated guys in this league. Terrific players that help you win.
Wagner takes it into the paint and scores.
That's pro. Wagner's a pro. His brother, one of my all-time favorite people, one of my all-time favorite players to cover. Mo Wagner at Michigan, his brother Franz is an absolute NBA player.
And if you haven't seen Michigan basketball, don't be surprised that 4 players have already gotten the scoring column. They are a well-balanced team.
That's what I like most about their offense.
Here's Ayala in the corner. Got it. Back-to-back buckets for Eric Ayala. That one's a 3-pointer.
Overhelp. Wiggins drove it. Ayala's man came too far over to Wiggins, and I'm telling you, I guarantee you that is going to be discussed right now.
Oh, there's a timeout on the floor with 16:46 to go. Let's take a look.
Too much help. You have to recognize when the ball is coming at you and when you can get back to your man. Bad move defensively. That'll get straight. Back to Hunter. Let me tell you something. See that kid right there, number 1? He's a freshman. This is a pro move. Watch. He goes right into Marial, and Marial, by going into him, he couldn't jump. Let's see if he does it again. Does it again.
Tried it again.
Yeah.
And we've got an offensive foul. That time he used a little too much of the elbow.
Well, yes, he did, but Marial was on that right shoulder. Dickinson's going to turn to his right shoulder. He has not made a jump shot this year. He's going to jump hook and go to the rim, and Marial was right on that shoulder, forcing the charge.
Maryland a chance to tie with a 3. They make about 7.5 threes a game. Not a strength of this Maryland offense. Here's Wiggins. And Brooks has the rebound. Michigan in their first 7 games undefeated, averaging 82 a game. And you can see why so far. Despite that miss by Wagner, it goes out of bounds. It'll be Maryland basketball.
I love that play by Wagner. He made one, missed one against Wisconsin, a little hook. Remember last year, Xavier Simpson would bring it from his hip the last 2 years.
I'm glad you brought up Xavier Simpson's name, because he is the big reason why this team looks so different than it did last year. Why is that?
Well, you know, he had the ball a lot last year, and he should have. You know, you're playing with a young kid in Wagner and a bunch of kids that he was supposed to lead, so he had the ball and was charged with making plays.
There's Shawnee Brown just checking in. First man off the bench for Juwan Howard. Transfer from Wake Forest, misses his first jump. Dante Scott, big man, got some handles too, and some touch, but it's off the mark. And here comes Smith for the Wolverines.
Wagner did a great job, Scott.
Wagner for 3, showing the repertoire early, Dan.
I think he is a key. Now this is going to sound maybe a little ahead of myself, but he is a key for Michigan to go to the Final Four. And Michigan is that good. They're that well coached. And if he can really get it going, because he's got every skill. He's ridiculously talented and tough.
Had a season-high 20 in their win against Nebraska last time out. That one pinned against the backboard by Dickinson.
Dickinson plays like a veteran.
Maryland now just 2 for 9 from the field to start.
Oh, is this good if this goes?
Brooks.
Oh, it was good even though it didn't go. Brooks was at the top and sprinted to make himself available. That's coaching.
Ayala, talk about a spin move. Eric Ayala coming off 17 at Wisconsin, already has 7 tonight.
I think he is one of the least. He and Dante Scott underappreciated kids in the Big Ten. He is a winner, and you know what else? He's not afraid to have it at winning time, even last year when they had Anthony Cowan. He didn't care. He just got the ball in the middle and went and did business, did some work.
So it's Michigan 11, Ayala 7. 7 on the shot clock. Wagner again.
Rich, this is totally different defensively for Maryland. They overhelped. They helped 3 different times, lunging, undisciplined at the ball, and Wagner gets a wide open look. Against Wisconsin, they locked in on their man, didn't have to help.
Here's Wiggins, tried to throw it down, but met at the rim by Brown. Michigan off and running. And the turnover forced by Dante Scott. And we're going the other way. 13:36 to go. Michigan doubling up Maryland on the road. And it's a homecoming of sorts for Hunter Dickinson. We'll explain that when we come back on New Year's Eve. Fabulous freshman Hunter Dickinson for the Michigan Wolverines, one of the DMV boys, the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area that Juwan Howard dipped into to bring him to Ann Arbor. He was the Gatorade Maryland Player of the Year. He's ranked number 36 in the ESPN Top 100 class, courtesy of our friend Paul Biancardi, and he has done nothing short of impress in his short time as a Michigan Wolverine. 1 point, literally 1 point away from leading this team in scoring, leads them in rebounding with just about 8.5 a game, also leads them with 12 blocks, and we've already seen the athleticism from Mr. Dickinson in this game.
I don't care where you rank anybody. That kid, all you gotta do is watch him once, and you're like, he can really play.
Yeah, he's a pro.
Yeah, I mean, he's taller than you think, which is, you know, in basketball, a lot of guys, well, we're 6'8". No, you're 6'6", or he's 6'11", 7 feet. And he knows how to play in traffic, which is such a big deal for a young kid or any kid.
On the bench now, but Hunter Dickinson in normal times would have a big crowd here at the Xfinity Center. Went to DeMatha High School right down the road.
Brandon Johns Jr. The staff, the previous staff, Beeline and them thought he's going to be an NBA player.
Yeah, says his IQ's off the charts.
You know, this is a celebrity watch party. I mean, I got Urban Meyer watching. I've got Dan Patrick watching. I know SVP's watching.
Are you name dropping?
Well, I just keep getting texts. Elon's watching. The boys at Elon University are watching. That kid is great. I love that kid. I don't know if he's a pro, and I don't care if he's a pro. You know what I know he is? Big-time ball player, Dante Scott.
Averaging over 15 a game in their Big Ten play so far.
Let me get back to Elon. Elon got a big game against Northeastern. You got to get that done, boys. Mike Schraggy's doing a great job.
There's Mike Smith, the grad transfer from Columbia, knocking down his first bucket.
Rich, the overhelp has to be driving Turgeon and his team nuts. They're giving up wide open threes.
Michigan 3 for 6 from beyond the arc so far. 10 on the shot clock for the Terps. Here's Scott, 24 and white. Gives it up to himself and knocks down the 3. The 6'7" sophomore out of Philly knocks down a long-range jumper.
His body looks a lot better. He's much more confident shooting the ball than he was last year, but I thought last year he was really confident.
Here's Wagner. Not that time. Morcell the rebound, and beautiful outlet pass. Jarius Hamilton met by Johns at the rim. Smith off his leg out of bounds. Yeah, it looks like it's going to stay Michigan basketball.
Well, they got to look at this. All right, look at Scott. He's looking. He gives it up to who? Nobody, and he just drills it. Dante Scott is terrific.
Well, Franz Wagner off to a good start with 8 points to lead the Wolverines, Dan.
Mo Wagner, there he is, first-round pick. I love Mo Wagner. He was one of my son's roommates at Michigan, and this kid can really play. The guy he went up against there was 7'2". He can shoot it. He can drive it. He's very smart, and you know what else? He's been guarding. He has taken on Dante Scott, and I think he has made it very difficult for Scott. That kid right there, Rich, he had to make a decision whether or not to come back. He looked at the NBA. Smart move coming back.
The one thing he was struggling most with in their first 7 games was the three-point ball. He only knocked down 5 coming into tonight. He's got 2 of them tonight already.
Yeah, that's just a matter of time. There's 2 kids in this league, Gabe Kalsher from Minnesota and Franz Wagner, that are struggling, and that will not continue.
Well, Kelcher did a good job today.
He's our best
despite
defender.
the loss to Wisconsin.
Yeah, he led him in scoring.
There's Smith to the hole, and that's nothing new for Mike Smith, who scored in bunches with Columbia.
Yeah, he's a terrific scorer, but again, I said it from the beginning, Maryland against Wisconsin did a great job of keeping their own man in front, and they've done an awful job of it thus far.
There's the BC transfer, Jarius Hamilton, and Michigan gets whistled for a foul with 11:02 to go. Well, it's been the Eric Ayala and Dante Scott show so far for Maryland on the offensive end. They're 5 for 7 from the field. The rest of the team 0 for 8. Here's Ayala again. This time he misses. Here's Smith in transition.
Now this is interesting. Where are points going to come from if they can keep Smith and Livers from shooting?
Livers wanted in the post, working on Morcell, didn't get it. 10 to shoot. Here's Livers baseline. Now 5 on the shot clock for the Wolverines. Mike Smith's gonna have to go, and it's too strong, but a foul is called.
It's a good move by Juwan Howard getting Dickinson back in there, because really this lineup had nowhere to go in the post and couldn't get by anybody. That was the best defensive position thus far by Maryland. It ended up in a foul, but if they can keep their man in front of them like that, this will go down to the wire.
There's Dickinson at the scorer's table, ready to check in. Mike Smith misses the first of 2 free throws. Coming up next right here on ESPN, last week's Pac-12 Player of the Week, McKinley Wright leading Colorado against Evan Mobley and 5-1 USC. Dave Pash, Bill Walton on the call. Another good New Year's Eve matchup. This one from out west on ESPN.
McKinley Wright originally committed to Dayton when Archie Miller left and went to Indiana. He went out with Tad Boyle out of Colorado, and he's been electric. And Evan Mobley, when you watch Evan Mobley play, you know you're seeing the perfect NBA specimen, right? I mean,
he is 5-star.
Yeah.
Largest lead of the game for the Wolverines. It's 10, 23-13. Here's Hamilton. He can knock that down, and he does.
That was a really good move by Mark Turgeon. Very simple. Ayala in the middle of the court, draws attention, and Hamilton just stepped back.
Jarius Hamilton now 7 for his last 12 from beyond the arc. Here's Livers. Dante Scott standing his ground. Now Dickinson, left hand, and 1.
Help was late. Maryland did a great job of switching everything. Now you're going to see. All right, little guy on Dickinson. Watch the help. It's late. And when you're late in help, as they were right there with Wiggins, Wiggins has got to be all the way over and intercept that pass. But he's late, and when you're late, you give a bucket or a foul or both. And I think
not exactly sure what's going on. Keith Kimball talking to Hunter Dickinson at the free throw line, and Juwan Howard's trying to circle the troops up.
I think they called a technical on Juwan.
And you know, you see the Michigan bench clapping, cheering, energetic, enthusiastic. That's something we're hearing a lot of with no fans in attendance at these games, especially in the Big Ten, Dan. The team with more energy on the bench is usually the team with the biggest advantage to win the game.
Absolutely. Rutgers came in here and whipped up on Maryland, and they made a road game into a home game by their bench. And then Mark Turgeon showed his team this and really got after his team, and they went to Wisconsin and did to Wisconsin what Rutgers did to them. There's nobody in here. It's a neutral court. if your team is screaming and yelling, the visiting team, and that's what you're seeing out of Michigan.
Yeah, we've seen it a handful of times in the Big Ten. Northwestern went to East Lansing and beat Michigan State. Minnesota won at Iowa on the road, and Maryland, as we talked about in their last game, wins at the Kohl Center. And that was Maryland's first win against the top 10 team since 2016. So we're sorting this out. It's a double technical called on both benches.
Well, good. Both coaches are into it.
By the way, both coaches, everyone knows Juwan Howard and what a superstar he was as a player, All-American, all that with the Fab Five at Michigan. Turge was a pretty darn good point guard at Kansas playing with Manning. He was one of the miracles for Danny Manning in 1988 Kansas team.
Turge was terrific.
Yeah.
Kevin Pritchard on that team, who's now the general manager of the Pacers. Yeah, man, Newton. Danny Manning, I first saw Danny Manning at the Olympic trials as a high school kid in 1984. He and Delray Brooks were the only high school kids invited.
Delray Brooks.
Yeah, and Danny Manning almost made the team. Delray was a little overwhelmed, but Danny Manning was that good. And you're talking about Olympic trials with Barkley and Ewing and Jordan. And
10 points again, matches the largest lead for the Wolverines. They have never trailed in this game. Trying to pull out another Big Ten road win. Here's Hamilton, three again. Jarius Hamilton in the mark.
Chandre Brown, he got spun around. He didn't know where he was. He gonna be like some of you later on in the night at about 1 o'clock in the morning, spinning around, not knowing where the hell you're at.
Here's Brown. Misses, and Akeem Hart comes away with it for the Terps.
Chandre Brown.
There's Ayala. Hamilton trying it again. Heat check, no good. Dickinson tracks it down for Michigan. Here's Livers, baseline. Nice move, not the right result. Wiggins, transition. Scott, got it, rattles it home.
But that was terrific by Wiggins. Wiggins rebounded it, a one-man fast break, and he set Scott up perfectly with a little fill behind.
Shooting starting to pick up a little bit now for Maryland after a slow start. 6 for 8.
Right past him. See that?
Brooks.
Right past him.
Offensive rebound, and Hunter Dickinson will go back to the line and shoot a pair.
Rich, I'm talking all over you. I'm sitting here like I'm in my living room. They're just driving right past Maryland, and now the help comes, which opens up the backboard for that monster Dickinson. Hey, shout out Alice Seisler.
Yes, big-time basketball fan.
Yes, she is.
And the strange thing about Alice is she's a real knowledgeable basketball fan, but she's a big Dan Dockich fan. Usually those two things are incongruous.
The only people that don't like me are the bearded, overweight guys on Twitter.
Do they have to be bearded and overweight?
Always.
Do they have tattoos and piercings also?
I don't know. Either that or the little bloggers. Everybody else, I'm big with mothers.
Dickinson has an early 6. Now make it 7. One of the things that's most impressive to me about Hunter Dickinson, he's averaging almost 16 a game, and he's only playing about 25 minutes a game.
You know what? He's just a guy. He reminds me of Mitch McGarry. If you remember him that came in. Mitch, whatever happened, happened. But I think Dickinson's going to be one of those guys that I think plays 2 years. I think he'll be here at least 2.
Akeem Hart gets in the act. His first shot of the game from beyond the arc.
How about Akeem Hart? Akeem Hart averaged nothing last year, 1.6. And now he's a confident, darn near double-digit scorer, but he just got whipped.
There's a nice blow-by Brooks.
Maybe that's why he didn't play last year. Couldn't guard.
The lead has been cut to 5. Now some reserves on the floor doing the damage for Mark Turgeon. Here's Scott. He's got a couple of threes to his credit tonight. This time he goes into the lane and knocks it off the glass.
tell you something, Rich. That's a dude that's played a lot of ball without a coach on the sideline. That's just a guy that's worked on his game and practiced.
And an offensive foul called on Eli Brooks. It's going to be Maryland ball with a chance to tie this game with the 3 ball when we return, and the threes have been falling for the Terps. Fear the Turtle in College Park.
Hey,
Dan
Maryland.
Dockich, they call the 3 ball the great equalizer, and right now Maryland's using that to get in this game.
7 of 9, and a lot of these are tough. That's a tough one right there. And a couple of these are in transition, top of the keys, almost like a layup these days for college kids. They work on it so hard. But look, 2 things. Number one, Michigan has to get their transition defense organized, and on the other end, Maryland's got to get their half-court defense organized by keeping the ball in front. Have we said that before?
Yeah. Dante Scott, you're looking at him. 2 threes already. He's got double digits for the 9th time already this season.
Now, Rich, the key for Maryland is don't take bad ones. You're shooting it well because you're shooting really pretty good ones. Just don't take bad ones. Don't fall in love.
Here's Morcell. The senior, nice no-look pass inside to Hart for 2.
Yeah, Eli Brooks started watching the ball on the drive from Morcell, and Hart just back cut him.
Here's Wagner inside Dickinson. Too easy.
Gosh, he just stepped over the defender Hamilton and made it look way too easy.
Hunter Dickinson has 9 points to go along with 3 rebounds. Now a blow by left hand, and Aquan Smart is in the scorer's column for Maryland.
Yeah, I'm a big Aquan Smart fan. I think he's going to be terrific. He reminds me a little of Juan Dixon. Now he's going to foul here.
Did he hear you? Is that why?
I've been doing this a long time, brother.
Let's take a look at Hunter Dickinson again. Dan.
It's too easy. Watch. He's just going to hit top of the key. He just devours Hamilton. And you know what? Maryland's got to start getting on his right shoulder. Left-handed players like to go to their right shoulder and takes them to their left hand. You got to make him go to his left shoulder. It's a more awkward move. And you got to get on top of him as well and not let him step in.
Brooks hits the first. He has 5. Mark Turgeon can't be too happy with the fact that Michigan already has 33 points and there's still 6 minutes to go in this game.
No, but I'll tell you this, Michigan is a tough team to defend because everybody on the court right now can score. They can shoot it, and they can drive it, and they can post it for the most part, except the two-point guards.
They're 11 for 12 from the free throw line so far tonight. Top 30 in the nation in free throw shooting, and that's come in handy so far against Maryland.
Boy, that's a bad break. Hart made a great, I call it a Steve Smith move. And now we got another technical.
Now Paul Sells calling another tee on Maryland, and Turge has his mask off. He's so upset.
The first technical on Maryland, Bo Borowski came over, was on the bench, an assistant coach, and on Juwan Howard. This one's on Turgeon. Here's the problem, Rich, and this is true. With no fans, referees can hear the coaches. And when you can hear the coaches, and coaches are used to just saying, whether there's fans or not, saying the same things. And as much as, you know, we whine and complain about swearing, the fact of the matter is, in sports, people swear.
Can't say the magic words quite as much and get away with it, at least.
That, and really you can't loudly question an official personally. Like, you're the word, you know, stuff like that. You gotta. And this is a veteran crew. These guys are not just guys that are going to call technicals to establish their dominance. They're veterans.
Mike Smith, 3 of 4 from the line himself tonight. He has 8 so far in the game. This is a young man who averaged almost 23 points a game last year in the Ivy League playing for Columbia. He could score in bunches, but They don't need him to do that with Michigan. They need him to distribute, and he's doing that this year, averaging 5 assists.
He's been the perfect addition to this team.
The lead is back up to 7 for the Maize and Blue. 10 on the shot clock. Wide open Hamilton, and he's got his third 3 of the night.
This is the third time they have taken Dickinson in a ball screen and driven it, and Dickinson can't play both, meaning he cannot play the ball and then get back to his man. And Hamilton, this is just layups for Hamilton at the top of the key. Now, this is the area it's a problem defensively for Hamilton.
5 minutes to go in an entertaining first half on New Year's Eve. Michigan looking to stay undefeated, one of 4 undefeated top 25 teams. Dickinson, 2 feet in the paint, unstoppable.
Yeah, but you can't let him go to his right shoulder. I got the scouting report right here. It's in front of me. We got another technical. Dickinson, I think, thought he was fouled, and the technical's on him.
And Dickinson's looking up at the scoreboard to see the replay. Did a little flex to the Maryland bench, and I'm not so sure that that wasn't the reason that the officials teed him up.
If that's so, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, look, basketball, I think he said something to the ref. There's no way this referee group is going to call a technical on a flex. Rich, but
collect your thoughts. Deep breath.
Basketball's a physical game played in your underwear.
Right.
You guys are going to yell. Guys are going to get tough. Guys are going to get fit. Guys are going to react. How about we, as a New Year's resolution, pay referees that don't call technicals or fouls?
Yeah.
I'm
all for that. I'm not so sure that that technical wasn't caused by the previous technicals that happened.
So now you think we're trying to keep the game under control a little bit?
I believe so. And that's carrying on Maryland. Another turnover for the Terps. That's their 4th turnover tonight. Michigan has led throughout. They're ranked 16th in the nation, sitting atop the Big Ten standings in what is arguably the best conference in all of college basketball. 9 teams in the top 25. And if Maryland can knock off the Wolverines tonight, they'll be the 10th team. Here's Johns, mid-post, working on Ayala. 7 to shoot. Here's Wagner. The pull-up jumper is good.
Man, that was terrific defense by Maryland. Ayala was terrific guarding the post, and everybody did the right thing. But you know what? A pro lifts up mid-range and drills.
Talked to Phil Martelli, the associate head coach for Michigan, about Franz, and he said he is a pro because he can score at all 3 levels. And Dan, we've seen that already tonight.
Yes, we have.
And we've got a foul, a stoppage of play, and our final media timeout of the first half with Michigan up 7 on the road.
Can hook it on you. He's one of the great hookers of all time, Uwe Blum. He'd bring it from his hip. I think Dickinson absolutely could play. I agree with you, Seth. He's strong. He's physical. I think he'd have made Chris Webber start crying, tell you the truth. He's too tough.
Shawnee Brown off the mark after the timeout. Here comes Morcell, 11 in white for the Terps. Maryland trying to chip away at this lead for the Wolverines.
This is what I'm talking about. They make tough shots sometimes, and that was a tough shot. That's what Maryland, they made it, but they can't rely on it.
Counting down to 3 minutes to go in what has been an energetic first half for both clubs. Smith, the lob, and Johns throws it down.
You cannot let Smith or anybody get into the lane. You cannot do it. Good players in the lane means buckets for that team.
John Beilein recruited a bunch of high IQ guys, and Juwan Howard's brought the NBA to Michigan. And so far, that is a successful combination. 10 to shoot for Maryland. Ayala, jump stop, shot fake, no. Morcell to follow.
Well, I like those two. Morcell is tough on tough, and as a senior, he's doing exactly what he should do. 3-2 zone, still 3-2 zone. Maryland needs to guard their own and not overhelp.
Baltimore's finest, Daryl Morcell. Here's Brown, baseline. And had it ripped away, it's going to be jump ball, and possession arrow goes to Maryland.
Boy, Mike Smith is a good basketball player, and when you let good basketball players get into the lane, bad things happen for the defense. Head up, Brandon Johns with the finish.
As we said, Mike Smith, a prolific scorer in his days at Columbia, now leading this Wolverines team with 5 assists per game. Here he has 9 points and 4 dimes tonight.
There's good players at every level. Terrific back cut and a better cut and pass.
How about that? Eric Ayala getting fancy with the behind the back. Daryl Morcell might have taken a shot in the noggin.
He did. He did. Trainer's coming out.
Let's take another look at what happened to Daryl Morcell off that pass.
How about that pass? It was on the follow through. He got him in the face. Wagner's saying that he got the ball, which he did, but he also got Morcell in the head.
And I don't know if Daryl Morcell is more hurt or angry that he has to come out of the game. Knowing him, he's just mad that he has to leave the game.
There's no question. I love that kid. That kid is competitive. Yeah, the refs have to look at this just because it's a hit, but Bo Borowski over there, there's no way Bo's going to let this be anything other than a common foul. Watch Wagner come over, and I think it's his left hand late in the possession right there. Goes down on him, and I don't think there's anything there other than a common foul. Watch his left hand. Keep watching, keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. Right there is. Looks like it hit him. Yeah, but he's holding his other side.
Yeah, it's tough to tell.
He's holding the left side.
Either way, I'm with you. That was pretty good defensive position on Franz Wagner.
That was really good until he reached down.
Right.
Then it's automatic.
Right. Now Borowski pointing a finger at Juwan Howard and that Michigan bench. He's like a school teacher right now. There's Morcell on the bench. We'll have an update on him as it becomes available to us. And Bo coming over to explain things to the announce table.
Yeah, Morcell has to leave because the trainer and coach came on the floor, and so number 25, Jarius Hamilton, is picked to shoot the shot by the bench of Michigan.
Jarius Hamilton, a 71% free throw shooter so far this season. Transfer from Boston College.
This game's a little chippy. Like, I know Dickinson's doing that whole high school thing where, you know, they didn't recruit me, so I'm going to stare at you every, you know, time I get
a little mean mugging going on.
A little grade school stuff, and he'll grow out of that. But I like the fact that he's competitive.
First one's good for Hamilton. These matchups of top 15 teams start a stellar Saturday. 6 games on ESPN2. 2 of the Big 12's best squaring off in noon Eastern. Number 8 Texas and number 3 Kansas. Then we head to the Big 10 for Luka Garza and number 10 Iowa and Ron Harper Jr. and number 14 Rutgers at the rack. My man Dan Dockich on the call for that one.
Yeah, Benetti and I hope Ron Harper Jr.'s back.
Yeah, he had to sit out their last game and they still won.
Huge minute and a half right here. Huge.
There's a takeaway by the Maryland defense.
Hart's played well.
Here he is on offense now. Stolen away by Wagner.
Boy, the old jump, spin, throw it out pass never works.
Now Juwan Howard slowing things down as the first half winds down. 1 minute to go. Here's Smith, 10 on the shot clock. And he lost it out of bounds. It's going to stay Michigan basketball with 5 ticks left on the shot clock.
That's what I was talking about. Everybody kept their own guy in front of them. And if I'm Mark Turgeon, I am screaming at my team to do that. Now, 5 seconds, you got to look at Wagner here. Wagner or Livers coming towards the ball.
Here's Wagner, guarded by Hart.
Ooh,
inside,
cut.
what a pass! And a finish by Johns.
Ball in the middle of the floor, and Johns back cut. Oh, is that good by Johns and Wagner, obviously.
Wagner has shown it all in this first half. The step through Smith, no. Good transition defense by Maryland. And now there's about a 1-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
I'm going to Ayala here. Middle of the floor, late. Either bring a ball screen guy up if you think it's a better matchup, or let him go against Livers. It's going to be a ball screen pop with Scott.
Ayala gives it to Scott with 5 on the clock, and he nails it. 13 for Dante Scott. And time runs out in the first half. What a first half it was. The 16th ranked, undefeated Michigan Wolverines are up by 2, 46-44, in an electric offensive performance by both teams. Now we send it to the crew in the studio for the halftime report. KC, take it away.
"2020, a year when strength of character took center stage. And that was just the beginning. Same purpose, same goal, same bond, new year, same result. United, we ball."
Happy New Year, one and all. Thanks for spending some of your holiday evening with us. Alongside Dan Dockich, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Michigan, undefeated and 16th ranked, is up 2 on Maryland on the road. What a half it was, Dan Dockich.
Well, shooting the basketball, both teams. And you know what? Maryland at one point 7 for 9. And this kid is terrific. Dante Scott is a fabulous basketball player. And then on the other end, I got to tell you, this kid Dickinson has made it too easy. Now, when he went up into 7'2", Maryland said, wait a second, I don't know who's going to guard him. So they put a bunch of different people on him. And Dickinson, who's from right down the road here, has pretty much had whatever he's wanted when he's been in there.
Well, Dante Scott leads all scorers with 14. He's got 4 3-pointers in the first half. And the aforementioned Hunter Dickinson, the 7'1" freshman for Michigan, leads the Wolverines with 11 points.
All right, 3-2 zone. Middle of the floor is where you go, where the Big Ten is. And if you're Maryland, you guard your own. Now it morphed into a man-to-man.
Here's Dickinson, surrounded and blocked by Galen Smith.
Yeah, terrific. Smith got on that right shoulder and timed it perfectly.
See if the Terps can turn it into points and tie this game up.
Well, I thought Smith should have gone up. There's really not a shot blocker. And by him not going up, made defense much better, offense much harder.
Mark Turgeon's Terps have never led in this game, but they find themselves down just 2, courtesy of their torrid 3-point shooting in the first half.
Using a baseline runner, but this is morphing into man-to-man. You just got to run your man-to-man offense.
Here's Dickinson working on the smaller Smith. Good hands by Scott to knock it away. Wagner comes away with it. Now 5 to shoot. Smith into the teeth of the defense, out of bounds, Maryland basketball.
Again, 2 possessions. Hard to guard because you're throwing it inside to a good post player, but they didn't have to overhelp. You saw when Dickinson had it, everybody stayed with their man. Terrific adjustment by Mark Turgeon defensively.
Why is that 3-2 zone that you don't see very often been so effective for Maryland?
Well, because Michigan is a perimeter-based team. You look out at Michigan, and they're basically 4 perimeter guys. So you play 3 on top, and then you match up because you got 4 guys out with 1 guy in. It's easy to match up that way.
Here's Ayala with the ball. Number 5 had 8 points in the first half. Wiggins Short on the jumper.
Wiggins has the best looking stroke that doesn't go in.
Still scoreless in this game. There's Brooks. Off the mark.
I'd like to see them get Wiggins another shot. Right here.
Step back three, got it.
Yeah, you can tell. I said he has a great looking shot that hasn't gone in this year. But I'll tell you this, when he shot that one and then I watched him come back on defense, he looked really confident, Rich. That's why I said they need to get him another one. Because he's talking on defense. He's at the top, he's talking to everybody. And that makes you a better shooter.
Maryland's first lead of the ball game comes with 2 minutes gone by in the second half. They're 10 for 13 from beyond the arc.
Everyone's guarding their own right here.
Smith, yes.
All right, you know what? You take that if you're Mark Turgeon. Ayala played terrific defense. Just, guy made a shot.
Michigan already has 3 players in double figures. Here's Ayala. Great patience by Eric Ayala.
Man, he abused Dickinson. Dickinson not yelling over at the bench there. He just got abused. Ayala just took his time, went under the rim.
And now the Terps have 3 double-digit scores. Here's Brooks, left hand.
All right. You're guarding your own, right? So Turge has told everybody stay with their man. You got to be able to guard your own, because if you don't, guess what? You're going to give up a layup, because they're not helping nearly as much this half, Rich.
Back and forth we go. Michigan undefeated, 16th ranked on the road. Maryland looking to back up a win on the road at Wisconsin with another top 25 victory. Scott with 3 to shoot. Pull up. No good. Offensive rebound. Maryland wants to count the basket.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Dickinson played great defense on Ayala. Then everybody got messed up, and the sophomore Hart was terrific in that possession. Watch Ayala here. You know what? I don't care if you're big or small. Just take your time around the basket. He did. Got his chin up on the rim, and Dickinson couldn't come. But I'll tell you this is where I think Dickinson's really good. He adjusted. And Ayala tried the same thing the next possession, and Dickinson was right there, forced Ayala to kick it.
And Akeem Hart with his first free throw of the night. He has 6, and we're tied at 50 apiece. 1 for 2 for the sophomore out of Philadelphia.
I'd go into Dickinson again with a shooter on the same side.
So many options for Michigan on offense. Here's Livers from the wing, had it challenged by Scott. And it's going to be Maryland basketball.
Man, Dickinson goes after the ball. Holy cow. I thought he was blocked out really, really well by Smith, but Dickinson wasn't settling. Moses Malone said it best. They said, why are you such a great offensive rebounder? He said, because I go after every ball, every shot.
Easier said than done, right?
Yeah, and you hope to get 3 or 4, right, on the offensive board. Dickinson terrific there shooting.
10 to shoot for the Terps. Here's Wiggins, and that was partially blocked by Wagner.
Yeah, I thought he had the shot when he got it.
The back tip by Hart. He gets it on the other end. Uses the backboard on the reverse.
Man, I love Hart. You think about it. A guy averaged 1.5 points, wasn't even a factor last year, and now he is balling.
We got a ball game. 5 lead changes this half already. Now Maryland a chance to extend a 2-point lead.
I'll tell you what, Bo Borowski was about ready to tee up Juwan Howard right there. Juwan got to be very careful.
And Borowski calls the foul. 15:23 to go. A 2-point lead for the Terps.
Hey, this is what college basketball's about. Hakeem Hart, 1.6 last year. Balling this year. You know, I missed this apparently, but we've watched it 1,000 times. Daryl Morcell is out. You see there, looks like nothing. He's holding the left side. Now watch this. Watch as it play. And there's a hit by Wagner on his left cheap. And Morceau is out for the game. I got to tell you, he's in street clothes right now. Rich, you, myself, the producer, the director, everybody in the truck watched that a bunch. And, I apologize for missing it, but that's a tough kid. And to get him out of the game, man, that's a big loss. Down the stretch, it will be a big loss for Maryland that they're going to have to overcome.
He's one of the leaders on this team, a senior out of Baltimore. The Maryland staff telling us an elbow to the head. That's all we know. Dante Scott, he loves using the window.
I was just going to say that, Rich. I mean, you don't see it a whole lot. He can shoot it a little bit extra hard and high because he's so good around the rim with the window.
Leads all scorers with 16, his first bucket of the second half. Here's Livers, in and out. Offensive rebound, Hunter Dickinson. Wagner from the wing. Yes, sir.
Boy, was that a great play. A little bit lucky. A couple Maryland guys were going after the ball. It fell into Dickinson's hands, and then he found Brooks, who found a Wagner. Terrific offense after a rebound, offensive rebound.
Wagner had 5 triples coming into this game. He's got 3 tonight. Speaking of 3, Hamilton has 3. He gets it inside, and it's a turnover.
Smith just stripped it.
Wagner thought about it.
I don't know if that was a flop or not, but Dickinson hit Smith and he went down like a ton of bricks. How about this offense?
This could be, Gonzaga aside, This is some of the best offense I've seen from both teams in one game all season long.
I agree. Teams are making tough shots. Wagner for Michigan, Dante Scott. I'm waiting for Livers to get going a little bit here, and when he does, this game might be one in the 80s.
Here's Ayala.
Good defense. This is what I'm talking about by Dickinson.
In and out. Battle for the loose ball. Brooks comes away with it.
You got to credit Dickinson. He got beat one time, came back, made 2 terrific defensive plays.
Livers still trying to get on track. He's one of the only players looking to get on track. Everyone else is. Here's Smith. Calls his own number. Disco fries for everyone tonight.
Hey, he drove it. He saw Mario there. He thought better of it. Backed up, knocked it in. There are players everywhere. The Ivy League is good, man. And him coming from the Ivy League, wow.
Dickinson, another rebound. Now Hunter Dickinson has 11 points and 6 boards. Here's Wagner. Look at that wraparound pass. Are you kidding me, Dan Dockich?
What a pass. This is why Wagner, Scott, those guys. Wagner with the wraparound pass. Why? Because he comes off a ball screen with his head up. He's looking for that. His mind is on the next play. They used to say Larry Bird, and you look at the bench, how good is that? That's making a road game a home game. They used to say Larry Bird used to play one Polaroid ahead. Like he always thought, Polaroid kids go look it up. It's a camera that shot you a picture immediately. And they always said Larry Bird saw the game one play ahead, and that's what Wagner did there. He came off thinking score, and when it didn't happen, he knew where the next play was.
I'll tell you what, Franz Wagner has scored tonight, 13 points, 3 triples. He's done it at all 3 levels. Most impressive thing tonight were his 2 assists that we've seen. He's got 4 of them total, but 2 of them were showtime.
Rich, he's guarded hard.
Yeah. 8-0 Michigan run puts them back on top by 4.
If I'm Michigan, I'm going back to that press. I'll tell you what, there was almost a turn down over and back twice, and they didn't take advantage of it, Maryland, by trying to score against that press.
Now 7 to shoot for the Terps. Scott, look at the handles for the big man. Smart? No, didn't touch anything. Shot clock violation.
Key for Maryland right now, you can't let this game get out and Michigan get comfortable. You got to get your defense reestablished by finishing with a block. You got to block out, and you got to keep your own in front of you.
Here's Dickinson.
Late help.
Nice pass up the double team. And Brooks hit him with the high.
Hey, Brooks just sprinted in there, and I think he surprised his own bench. Big shot right there. That's the shot of the game right there by Hamilton, because the feel was Michigan was going to get this to double digits. That shot will win you the game in the end. Let's travel.
Bo Borowski agrees, and we have a timeout on the floor.
Well, this is a terrific game. You said it, Rich. Watch this little wraparound to the big guy from right here, and then let's go, Dickinson. Repay it, and surprised the bench. Look at him.
Ohio State, Notre Dame. The College Football Playoff Semifinals, New Year's Day on ESPN.
Well, New Year's Day is upon us. That means college football playoffs upon us. And I'm working with a guy now who believes in his heart and soul that Indiana should be in the college football playoff. But who do you think out of these four teams is going to go there?
First, I don't believe with my heart and soul, but I believe they should have been in a conversation. Certainly should have been in one of the Big Six bowl games. Trevor Lawrence, you see him there. He's terrific. He's all the rage, but they're going to lose to Ohio State. It's going to be Ohio State and Alabama in the national championship game. I don't think Ohio State has enough offense. Alabama plays no defense. I mean, they're a sieve. But I don't think, even with Justin Fields, that they can score enough. But book it, people. I am 3 years running predicting this right on a broadcast before these games. Book it. Ohio State over Clemson. Alabama wins. Indiana should have been in the conversation for these games, maybe not in it, and they certainly should be in a Big Six bowl. Tom Allen should be the coach of the year. I don't care about Coastal Carolina.
Chanticleer's on line one.
Well, I like the Chanticleers because it's in Myrtle Beach. It's a fun place to go. But
speaking of fun, we're having plenty of fun here in College Park. A whale of a ball game in the Big Ten, as usual. And this one so far might top them all. Maryland
zone, matched up, watch the middle, and then the baseline.
Here's Hamilton, had a good first half.
That was bad offense, terrible offense. On top, the two guys on top matched up with the two guards at Michigan. Bad offensive possession. You got to get one guy at the point, get some wings and some baseline action.
Starters on the floor still for Juwan Howard.
Good move by Juwan Howard going to that zone, by the way.
Associate head coach Phil Martelli, kind of the consigliere, if you will, for Juwan Howard. We had a great conversation with him earlier this week. He said he thinks Juwan Howard was born to coach. And that's saying something for a guy who played in the NBA for 19 years.
And I agree with him. I think that guy's a terrific basketball coach. He's got good staff. Jay Wright, who's sitting behind Juwan, was a terrific coach at Central Michigan. Took Central Michigan to the NCAA tournament with Chris Kaman, won a game. Duke ended up beating a great cut.
Brooks lost the handle, out of bounds, Maryland basketball.
Martelli is a combination Michael Corleone and Peter Boyle.
Only you could get away with that. Philly's finest, Phil Martelli.
Yeah, he's great. Absolutely great. He does all the press, right?
And I love how he described this team. He said, it's like being in ceramics class. You're not trying to build something. You're just saying, how pretty can we make this? So far tonight, they've been pretty.
Let me tell you something else. It's going to get prettier, as you said earlier. #1 recruiting class in the country, but this zone is giving.
Scott for three.
Hey, you let Scott shoot the ball on the left side. I don't care how good the defense is, and it was. He's going to make it from the wing. That's terrific.
11 for 16 from distance for the Terps tonight.
Look at inside. Look at Scott. Watch the action between 24 and Dickinson, and now watch the action between 5 and Dickinson on the block.
Dickinson's got to be careful. He's playing with 3 fouls.
There's your early help. Did you see 13 come over there early? You got Dickinson, you've got Ayala on the high side, and the help came from 13 on the low side early. When you're late, you're a fly on an elephant's backside.
5 to shoot for the Wolverines. Wagner, strong take, floater, yes.
Wow. I mean, that's just balling. That's just, you know what, going to your right, getting it on the front of the rim with touch.
Wagner with 15, Smith with 13, Dickinson with 14.
Somebody's got to get in the middle of the zone, coach, and then fill the right side baseline. You got a shot.
They go inside out. Not that time. Dickinson, another rebound.
Wiggins way too slow and casual into his shot.
Hunter Dickinson with 2 double-doubles already this year. He's working on maybe number 3 tonight. There's Livers, left alone, got it.
What happened there, Livers' man was helping. He was there early, but he wasn't in his mind getting back to Livers. So on the drive, he got stuck watching Brooks with the ball and didn't get back to the best shooter in the gym, Livers. Bad shot.
Here comes Smith, trying to extend a 6-point lead for the Wolverines with 9 minutes to go. Smith, no. Dickinson. Do they count it? Yep. Yes, they do. An and one for Hunter Dickinson.
You got to guard your man. I mean, you just simply have got to guard your man, and when you don't, look, everybody's looking. And what does Dickinson do? He just goes and gets the ball. It all started with nobody guarding Smith. There is never a time on the court where you stand and watch under the basket. There's somebody to block out. There's a move towards the ball that you have to make. Maryland players stood, watched. Dickinson, guess what he did? He went after the basketball.
Just the second miss from the free throw line tonight for the Wolverines as a whole. 16 for 18 from the stripe.
Oh, I said Jay Wright. I meant Jay Smith. I'm so sorry. Thank you for correcting me.
That ball almost out of bounds. Here's Wagner in the open court. Franz Wagner! Cookies for number 21 in blue.
That was set up. Wiggins just made a no-look pass from the top of the key. He thought there was a man on the wing. That man on the wing had cut to the basket. And in trying to save it, you throw it to the wrong team. Watch this. Wagner, little side step. Look at the bench going nuts. Jay Smith loved it. Jay Wright's at home.
12 times for the Wolverines tonight, Dan.
And some have been really pretty. I mean, we've got wraparounds, we've got lobs, we've got no-lookers from the top of the key. Tell you what, Michigan, so well coached. They have, look at this. This is nice, and they finish. That surprised even the bench. Look at those guys. This is fun. Road teams becoming home teams because the bench is fired up off of good plays is awesome.
We've seen what an impact it can have specifically in the Big Ten, where there have been some major upsets by road teams winning in home gyms where you just normally don't see those teams lose.
One of them was Maryland and Wisconsin. Nobody wins in Wisconsin.
Right.
Wisconsin was on a 10-game, Big Ten win streak. Nobody wins in Wisconsin. Maryland did. Big uphill battle right now for Maryland. Got to start with a good possession here.
Largest lead of the game for the Wolverines. It's back to 10.
I think it's got to be Ayala in the middle or Wiggins on a shot.
No Daryl Morcell for the rest of this game. Hart off the mark, another rebound for Dickinson, and that's a double-double for the freshman.
No, you cannot have him shooting the basketball. He's a good player, but this is crunch time. Got to be your stars. It's players, not plays right now.
Working on Scott. Here's Dickinson. Spins to the left, and that's his bread and butter.
He's a bad man. I don't know what he's mumbling on the way down, but I like it. Again, he went right to his right shoulder. You can't do it. I like beating a dead horse. It's what I do, but darn.
Tough shot. Hart in traffic, no.
Can't have it. It's got to be Wiggins. It's got to be Scott. It's got to be Ayala.
Smith gives it up. Too easy. Another dime for Smith, another bucket for Dickinson, and he has 20. That matches his season high.
Well, that's going to be on our next highlight when we talk about passing. He just went right by Hart. Looped right past him.
Wiggins got it.
Good patience by Wiggins. He had a smaller Brooks on him, and he did not give it up. Now you got to get some stops, and it all starts right here, guarding number 12.
Eight on the shot clock for Michigan. Here's Wagner, deep three, too strong. Offensive rebound, and Hunter Dickinson will go to the line when we come back. Michigan playing a beautiful offensive game tonight, Dan.
Boy, you're right. They are fun. Watch Dickinson right here. Just a little finish off of Smith. Smith has been terrific.
Mike Smith, stat sheet stuffer tonight. Let's get to know him a little bit. He went to Columbia for his undergrad, graduated after averaging 18 a game last year, averaged 23 a game. He's just the second grad transfer in Michigan history. And yes, he's mentored by Jimmy Buckets. Look at this, little magic in his assist.
If you are mentored by Jimmy Buckets, that means you're tough. That dude was a rodeo rider. How good was Jimmy Butler in the playoffs last year, man? Oh,
solid. Solid. Mike Smith right now with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And he's part of a triumvirate with Hunter Dickinson and Franz Wagner. It takes me back. I don't know if you're a hip-hop fan or not, but a big 90s hip-hop guy. Naughty by Nature. They were a power trio in the hip-hop culture. And that's what you're getting now from these guys.
Yeah, they are.
Moving on.
I was an NWA guy.
Okay.
Big time.
Well, we won't talk about them.
You don't know Confunction. That was more 80s, 70s.
Now Reese Mona on the floor trying to be an energy giver for Mark Turgeon.
Wiggins got knocked down by Wagner.
Here's Maryland under their own basket, looking for an answer. And they don't have one. Wagner with the pickoff, and the other end, a pick 6 for Franz Wagner. And now he has 19 to go along with 22 by Dickinson. Michigan with 77 points, Dan. Maryland has not allowed an opponent to score 80-plus points in 75 games.
Well, Wagner, we talked about it early. He's been terrific on both ends of the court, and defensively, he's into Dante Scott. Now, Dante Scott's had a pretty good game. He's hit a couple tough shots, but Wagner has been, along with Mike Smith, as you said, and Dickinson, they've been the difference. Those three guys have outplayed the best three for Maryland, and really, not even close. We have not heard from Scott. We have not heard from Wiggins. We really haven't heard from Ayala this entire second half.
Well, we talked about Darryl Morcell not being available for the Terps. He is now conspicuously absent. Hunter Dickinson, too easy. Another assist for Smith, another bucket for the freshman sensation.
Well, when the ball's on top, there is no help side. Smith had the ball on top. They tried to front. And when you're a grad transfer, you know where to throw the ball in the lob. Look at this. It's all one-on-one. And they've kind of fallen apart, Maryland has. Everything is one-on-one. The ball isn't going side to side. Everybody's trying to get a 6-point basket. And this could end up 25 if they continue to do that.
Maryland, who shot the lights out in the first half, is now 1 for their last 8. And is it fair to say it seems like Maryland has lost a little of their composure?
It's fair to say that Maryland is on the cusp of quitting.
5 to shoot for Michigan. Here's Wagner.
They might.
Ayala the rebound. Or that was Wiggins with the rebound, and up ahead a nice look. And Jarius Hamilton comes up a little lame after that layup.
Look, I think Michigan is a top 10 team in the country. Now you're going to ask me, okay, if they're in the top 10 team, who do you take out? I don't know. Maybe Wisconsin. I don't know. But I know this. This is a team that's as good as any, and I'm going to take Gonzaga and Baylor out of it because I think Gonzaga and Baylor are on a different level right now. But this performance by Michigan is absolutely phenomenal. Look at that.
The one more, and Smith knocks it down.
Play a zone, they kill you. Play man-to-man, they kill you. Switch the zone, go to a 3-2, they kill you. I mean, this is a clinic by Juwan Howard, his staff, Michigan's players.
A season high for Dickinson, a season high for Smith. And Juwan Howard has him working on all pistons tonight. Thanks, KC. And if you think we're having fun here tonight in College Park, Dave Pasch is sitting there getting ready to call his game, and he's saying, hold my beer, because Bill Walton is going to be on the call with Dave Pasch. That's always entertaining.
Hey, I got to give a shout-out. Greg McElroy, esteemed national champion quarterback, fighting COVID. He is watching the game as well. And Greg McElroy, one of the great players and announcers at ESPN, missing his bowl game. I hate to hear that. Also thinking about Herbie, Kirk Herbstreit, who's fighting it as well.
Shot clock running down. Reese Mona with a nice take.
Mona. No way. You know, Mona's kind of an interesting guy. He's got real pop in him, but Mona, too little, too late.
Yeah.
The stars needed to shine.
Former walk-on, now got a scholarship over the summer. Under 3 minutes to go.
Let him go right shoulder. You did, and it's a bucket.
26 now.
Hey, I got to tell you, it's either the scouting or it's the performance. But letting him, Dickinson, go to his right shoulder is awful. Once maybe, but not all day.
Here's Ayala from deep.
I love Ayala. You know what? But it was a tough second half for him. He struggled, as has all of Maryland. But you know what? Nobody in the Big Ten cares, man. Next game is going to be tough. They go to Indiana next.
This should not be a surprise for anyone who knows anything about Michigan this year. They're top 20 in the nation in field goal percentage, top 30 in free throw percentage. They know how to score the basketball and how to do it efficiently, and they've done that tonight to the tune of 84 points against a good Maryland defense. Smith, tough shot, got it to go over Hunter Dickinson. Well, we mentioned this earlier, Dan. It's not like any other team has it any easier than these two teams. It's a gauntlet in the Big Ten. Coming up for the Maryland Terrapins, they're at Indiana, then they have Iowa at home, then they're on the road against Illinois. 4 of their next 5 games are against top 25 teams.
Well, you know what they say, if you're at a poker table and you don't know who the mark is you. And the only mark in this is Nebraska. I mean, they're somewhat talented, but kind of a mess.
Ayala again, he has 16.
How about Michigan? You know, when you watch all the great teams and you talk about them, they never talk about Michigan.
No.
But all you really have to do is watch them play one time.
When nacho fries go off the menu, you can't escape the craving.
You don't consume me! I consume you!
Nacho fries.
The 6'2" freshman from Washington, D.C., Marcus Doherty.
52.3 to go. It's been a career night for Hunter Dickinson. Best night in a Michigan uniform for Mike Smith. And Franz Wagner has been the orchestrator tonight.
Well, they list him as a guard, and he's one of those kids that is just bigger and broader in the shoulders, right? And you can tell he's worked on his body, and everybody says, well, he hasn't shot the ball. Look, I don't care about all that. Do that. Guard, rebound, come up with loose balls, finish on the other end. Franz Wagner is as versatile a kid as you're going to find.
Stay tuned. This is a college basketball doubleheader as we wait for the other ball to drop on New Year's Eve. Coming up next is some Pac-12 basketball. Colorado and USC. Dave Pasch, Bill Walton on the call. But if you like big man play, wait till you see Evan Mobley. If you haven't seen him yet, he is a freak.
Usually by the time a game's over, I have 38 guys going into first round, 16 teams winning a national championships, and everybody's the greatest. As my wife says, nobody hyperbolas like you. But Mobley is a specimen, and if you want to get into the new year right, finish the year off with a little Bill Walton tonight. I'm sure he's from a TP. He's probably doing it from home. Probably a lot of fun. And Pasch has to sit there and figure it all out. But people have, Bill Walton's become kind of a guy that's the greatest college player, he and Scott May, that I've ever, and Magic Johnson, that I ever saw. I mean, Bill Walton was stupid good.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not old enough to see Oscar Robinson or Kareem, but Bill Walton, my God, I mean, he talks basketball. It's best to just listen.
Well, if he's watching, he'd love this performance by the Wolverines. 60% from the field, 18 for 20 from the free throw line. Dickinson gets fouled.
I got to give a shout out to my mother, the beautiful Roberta Dockich, watching down in Florida. I promised her, I cannot say her age. I don't even know how old my mom is. My mom was never going to tell us her age. But I told her I'd give her a shout out.
Hey, Mama Dockich. And thanks to your brother, by the way, we had a private tour of the Capitol building last night.
No, my brother had nothing to do with it.
I thought
that
he
was
orchestrated
me.
it.
No, Senator Todd Young, no. I got that whole thing done. We got a private, my brother, my backside.
That was fantastic. Then thank you, Dan Dockich.
You're welcome.
And thank everybody for tuning in. Happy New Year's. Michigan remains undefeated. They are one of just 4 teams in the top 25 with an unblemished record. They improved to 8-0 on the season, 3-0 in the Big Ten, and a huge win on the road against the Maryland Terrapins. Final thoughts?
Well, if you're sleeping on Michigan, wake the hell up in the new year, because this is a team that's going to compete down the stretch for a Big Ten, going to compete for a high seed in the NCAA tournament, and is a threat to go to the Final Four. This team, Michigan, is fantastic.
As we like to say, get your books ready, Big Ten. Michigan is on the come. A statement win on the road. Once again, your final score, Michigan wins it by 11, 84-73 over Maryland. For Dan Dockich, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Now to the studio, Kevin Connor, Sean Farnham, and Seth Greenberg.